Marilyn Basson has spent the past 25 years volunteering with terminally ill children in hospitals, children's homes, and in destitute communities. Establishing Boikanyo, the Dion Herson Foundation, in 2011, she is dedicated to upskilling and uplifting children in dire poverty and becoming a powerful driver of positive change.
I spent many years trying to find where I belonged, from orphanages to churches to other homes, and I never found where I belonged. And in 2009, I went and I did a course to help me treat cerebral palsy children, and I volunteered at Baragwanath Hospital in cerebral palsy clinic. And all they would let me do was fit children into these chairs for profoundly disabled children. They were very expensive chairs. They weren't enough. There was a 2-year waiting list. I got people to donate chairs. I got some charities that actually gave me more than one chair, sometimes a lot of chairs. I actually took one chair apart and I used it as a template. And we reproduced it, and I just go and I put the chair together once we had the everything sewn. It was very easy to put the chair together. The cerebral palsy children are last on anyone's list. They don't earn an income. They are a bind on society. They cost money. They're the last kids that you actually are going to say, let's help you. The honest truth is, the sooner they're gone, the better. But that's not moral. That's not the way it should be. Those mothers love those children. Oh, you have no idea how much they love them. What they taught me about belief and about faith and about everything, how they loved those children. And it wasn't right. So that's why they needed the chairs.
I started meeting Marilyn 6 years ago. And Marilyn was brought here by Luke Lembrecht. Luke was our director then. Firstly, we started working in the hostel nearby. There's a hostel. And she was interested with kids who are maybe disabled. And we work at Protea South, one of the squatter camp. And also there, she's helping with many things, like sometimes food parcel. Sometimes you give them some food. If not food parcel, then clothes.
When I went around with these social workers, the Soweto Parent and Child Counselling Centre, for 6 months, and said people are starving. We need to give them food, and started the vegetable garden.
There was this empty space behind our office, so we started plowing and doing something.
Our vegetable garden was a rubbish dump. It was the school rubbish dump. It started at Spring Day, the 1st of September 2012. And today, Food and Trees for Africa, thank goodness, have come in and taken it over. And we've got an incredible bunch of women who are now running it.
To be here in the garden is for me to not stay at home, just to eat and reduce poverty at my home. The most thing that they buy is a spinach. Even carrots, to go and feed their families.
How do we, empowering the community to take ownership in the garden is a problem. And that's why a lot of vegetable gardens don't make it. Unless you're being paid to do the job, you are slaving away in the sun or in the freezing cold, in the rain, so that someone else in the community comes along and benefits from the vegetables. And it's a very, very hard concept, because where we work is a very socialist society. When you have nothing, you share nothing. And thank goodness we don't have to do that anymore. We've got Food and Trees for Africa who's going to take over, because that's what they've been doing for a long time. I think that the way that they live in the squatter camp is actually the way that it should be. That every children can go from home to home to home safely. Everybody welcomes them in. Everybody looks after one another. They know there's downsides to that. They know everything about one another's business. but they care for one another. They don't live behind high walls. They don't live for riches, for acquiring wealth, for a car, for a house. They don't. They have embodied what life has given to them, and they've made lemonade out of it. They really have. Listen, the anger is there as well. But what I see on a daily basis when I go in there is just pure love.
One day when we were going to do our home visit somewhere in Zola, and Marilyn told me that she had this huge sponsor of the school shoes. And then I said to Marilyn, tell me more about the sponsor. She said, you know what? I've got this 400 shoes to donate. Then I was so excited.
The things that school children find the most intolerable is that the school shoes don't fit them. They sometimes have to walk kilometers to get to school in those shoes. We've had children come to school with no soles under their shoes because the rule is no school shoes, no school. And these children know that irrespective of what the school shoe looks like, it's got to be worn. And you know what a school shoe actually is? It's dignity. It really is dignity. If you can't, underwear they don't have either, but that's not as much dignity because no one sees it as showing how poor you are because your shoes look so terrible.
So I decided that we should go to one of the schools at Khotso. The Khotso is at Piri, and we went there and we did the fitting. After the fitting, and then we distributed, and it was so awesome. I was so happy, and the kids were also laughing.
The long-term goal with school shoes is so that the child does not drop out of school. You just haven't listened from the word go because there's been nothing in it for you. You felt too terrible. You're the poorest. You're the one without the uniform. You're the one with the shoes that don't fit. You're embarrassed. You're humiliated. Everyone knows where you come from. And that's the beautiful thing about school uniforms, is that they're actually supposed to standardize everyone. You're not supposed to know who comes from a poor home. But when you've got shoes that are atrocious, it's the dead giveaway. So that is a hand up because it facilitates education.
I do like the community work. Hence, I work with Marilyn because he also likes to be in the community. She doesn't like to be in the office. We're always outside.
Pindile and I are very similar personalities. We love one another, and we've been with one another for many years. It started with me taking her into the squatter camp just to give her a lift to various homes that she had to visit. And she enjoys being with me.
She's an awesome woman, a lady with passion. She likes to work with community, especially the poor. Because every time when I tell Marilyn, let's go to the community, she insists that we go to the squatter camp. She only wants to work with the poor.
What Derech Eretz would mean to me is what our attitude to life should be, what our attitude to one another should be. We are all part of the land. We have to make connections with one another through the most basic of all things, ground ourselves, the land. And that is how we are connected. It is our connectivity to one another. And it is how we treat one another. It is how we look after our world, how we look after ourselves and one another and the land.